On Close Up today, what the Pope is saying about homosexuality.
And we'll tell you how you can enter buildings on campus without scanning your student ID.
Find out what classic horror movies will be returning to a local theater.
Find out what good cause is getting these girls pied in the face.
From the Department of Mass Communication at Winthrop University, you're watching Winthrop Close Up.
Welcome to Winthrop Close Up. I'm Megan Mack.
And I'm Chelsea Brown. From sit-ins to packed-out presentations, one civil rights activist is still impacting the lives of others. Daisy Burrows tells us how.
Well, I had quite the time down in Rock Hill 53 years ago.
Joan Mulholland began her civil rights journey at 19 years old while attending Duke University.
I think I was drawn to the civil rights movement because of my faith.
Mulholland met much criticism while standing up for equality. At times, she felt that she could not return home.
All of that put together just brought me into the movement, and once you were in, there was no going back. The movement became family.
Students like freshman Molly Duggan left with more insight about a tough time for the civil rights activist.
I think my favorite fact was the fact that she went against her mother and did her own thing, and it really showed her independence.
Mulholland shares how she became one of the first white women to join a historically black sorority.
Seeing the difference between the black and the white schools just didn't seem right.
Mulholland became a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated at Tougaloo College in Mississippi after leaving Duke University.
Everyday people that really can make a difference when they stick together, and you can change the world.
When I sat down with Mulholland, she explained that she thinks younger generations still have a lot to fight for and how older generations can help.
To me, what folks of my generation can do to keep the movement for human dignity going is to speak to younger folks. Maybe you can get some ideas and inspiration and just courage from what we did and go on and make the world better.
Daisy Burrows for Winthrop Close Up.
No more student ID cards, just a simple scan of the eye. Damon Mack introduces us to the all-new Eagle Eye scanner.
Please center your eyes in the mirror.
Eye scanning technology has been around for several years in airports, hospitals, and military bases. Until recently, the equipment has been too expensive for colleges and universities, and Winthrop is one of the only 2 higher education institutions in the Southeast to test the iris scanning technology.
Well, the Eagle Eye program gives a higher level of security than an ID card that can be passed from one person to another. You can't lose your eyes, so there you can't impersonate someone else, or you can't lose your ID card in the sense that you can't fake somebody else's eyes. So it's a higher level of security.
Well, the process is very simple. Standing 10 to 12 inches away, the scanner takes a high-definition picture of your eye's algorithm, and then you're locked in the system.
Please move a little back. We've finished taking pictures of your eyes.
Students take a liking to it because it's something they've only seen in movies.
I think it's, pretty cool. It's a great way to, a quick and easy, fast way to get the ID.
Winthrop is currently testing iris scanners at the McFeet Early Childhood Laboratory School. The new tool will verify the identity of parents or guardians and ensure safe pickup. This is Damon Mack reporting for Winthrop Close Up.
Thank you.
Homosexuality seems to be a hot topic lately, and even the Pope is joining the conversation. Reporter Chelsea Vicari shows us what students are saying.
For the first time in history, the Pope has publicly voiced his opinion on how he views homosexuality in the church. On July 29th this year, the Pope spoke on record to journalists while on a flight back to Italy from Brazil. He addressed homosexuality as an issue facing the Roman Catholic Church.
If a person is gay and accepts the Lord and has goodwill, who am I to judge them?
In Rock Hill, there are 2 churches who openly welcome homosexuals. These include the Epiphany Lutheran Church and the Episcopal Church of Our Savior. In Charlotte, there are 17 more of various denominations. Winthrop students had differing reactions to the Pope's statement.
I agree. I think that that's really cool of him to say something like that, because for a long time the Vatican seemed to be very traditional and very against homosexuality.
I don't know, I kind of think that like he's causing a controversy. I think that that statement shouldn't have been made. I think that he should have kept it to himself.
South Carolina is still one of the 37 states that doesn't recognize gay marriage. Other students predicted what difference the Pope's statement might make here in the South.
In the world, yes. In the South, no. I think they're probably more ignorant than the rest of the world. But I think it's definitely helping moving in a good direction.
If it does change people, I mean, you know, why did it take one person to change so many people? And why couldn't they change for themselves, you know?
Although students held various positions on the matter, the majority said that this was a step in the right direction. This is Chelsea Vicari for Winthrop Close Up.
If you'd like to venture out of the Bible Belt, studying abroad just might be for you. Winthrop students rushed to the Study Abroad Fair to decide what country they would want to visit. The program offers 19 areas of study in 21 different countries. So how can you sign up?
We have a few steps. The first step is making an online account. After that, we have group advising sessions, and those happen twice a week. So we have one on Tuesdays at 11 in Dinkins 221 and Friday at 2 at the same time, at the same location rather.
Many students who study abroad for a semester end up staying longer because they enjoy the experience so much. If you'd like to study abroad, talk with your advisor or visit the Study Abroad office to start exploring your options.
English majors on campus are speaking out about nationally banned books. Leslie Brown shows us how you can take a part of it.
The Literary Society and the NCTE Club on campus teamed up for the 5th annual Banned Books reading. This program featured different students doing dramatic readings of excerpts from The Chocolate War, Captain Underpants, The Bluest Eye, and Killing Mr. Griffin. Instead of being fully banned, books can be challenged, which means someone has proposed it as being ban-worthy.
I am all for a parent saying this book should not be read by my child. But the moment that parent takes over for my own intellect or my role as a parent to my child and says, you know, no, your child shouldn't read that book, you know, that's when that issue of First Amendment and kind of speaking up for those books kind of takes place.
One parent is in favor of the ban, but only to a certain extent.
The only way I could see the ban being like a good thing is if it maybe put an age to when the book would be acceptable to read.
Most books are either banned or challenged because of sexually explicit content, it's unsuitable for a specific age group, there's offensive language, or violence. One student says that books should not be banned or challenged because students can learn from them.
As a person, you're kind of forced to view the world in your own perspective, and when you read books like this, it gives you an experience from somebody else's lives with struggles and situations that maybe you wouldn't have understood beforehand.
There's a new list of banned and challenged books every year. Parents are usually the initiators of challenging a book. I'm Leslie Brown for Winthrop Close Up.
To see if any of your favorite books were banned, go to ala.org. Moving away from home is hard, but some freshmen say they are finally getting used to the college life.
I'd say I've adjusted pretty well. The hardest thing was the spending, learning how to, budget my money for food and for the necessities.
So I think time management and juggling everything has been my hardest thing, but I think I'm doing it pretty well.
This may not be the case for all freshmen, but it is good to know our students feel at home on Winthrop's campus. If you'd like to help a freshman transition to college life, become an orientation leader or an ACAD assistant.
It's a man's world, and women still face many challenges in the workplace. Reporter Javion Garrett explains how One Winthrop program is helping women break the glass ceiling.
Dad told me I couldn't be a boxer. He said I was too small.
Winthrop's Association of Black Journalists, in collaboration with Phi Alpha Delta Law Fraternity, hosted a program on the advantages and disadvantages of women in the workplace. Professor of Psychology and Anthropology, Dr. Bradley Tripp, believes that with time, things will change.
What it's going to be in the future, it's just going to be more positive for equality for women in the workplace. And as it becomes more equal for women, it just fosters a better work environment for everybody.
Male students who attended the program learned valuable information that had them wondering if they could help.
Rather than just, how do I feel I can get a job or pay? Like, is there anything I can do to help maybe women who are coming along after me? Like, maybe if I was to have a daughter or something in the future, like, how would the workplace be for her as far as, like, getting equal pay?
The program was NABJ's first of the year, and the president is looking forward to the many more to come.
Just starting off, I think it was a good turnout since we don't usually do events, but I'm very proud of what we've done and what we're going to do in the future.
The debate about women in the workplace will continue, but progress is being made. Javion Garrett reporting for Winthrop Close Up.
To learn more, pick up a copy of The Incredible Rise of Women in the Workplace by Hannah Rosen.
A building collapse in Mumbai kills 50 and injures dozens. Coming up next. Welcome back to Winthrop Close Up. In their most recent meeting, President Obama and the Israeli Prime Minister are both in agreement that Iran should not possess a nuclear weapon. Both leaders feel that it is important for the security of the world. The bottom line is that in order to ensure these securities, Iran must dismantle its military nuclear program immediately. Rescuers have been working furiously to save as many lives as they can at the site of the building collapse in Mumbai, India. Indian officials say it's unknown exactly how many people are still trapped, but it's thought to be a dozen or more. 33 people were injured and at least 50 were killed.
Popes John the 23rd and John Paul II will be declared saints in April, according to the Vatican. John Paul II is considered conservative and John the 23rd progressive. This is the first time that the two popes will be canonized at the same time. A new report shows employees at the National Security Administration use the country's surveillance systems to snoop on their significant others. The National Security Agency detailed in a letter to Congress 12 cases of employees misusing the wide-ranging snooping power of the government to spy on romantic interests.
Have you upgraded your phone to iOS 7? Mike Zumak will help you navigate over to the new features.
Alright folks, with the upgrade to iOS 7, a lot of people have been pretty confused about getting to some of their familiar features. First on the list is how to access your music whenever the phone is in the lock position. Before, you could just double tap the home button and it would bring up the controls, but now you need to do a gesture. Starting at the bottom of the screen, you'll see a white bar. Simply tap and drag upward to access your control panel. Here, you'll have access to your music, as well as toggles that access airplane mode, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, Do Not Disturb, and Portrait Lock, as well as a flashlight, a compass, a calculator, and your camera. After upgrading, you may have wanted to use the phone locator feature. This requires you to enter a password every time you unlock your phone. There are ways to avoid having to do this. To change the setting, simply click Settings, go to General, and scroll down. Here you'll see where it says Passcode Lock, and it says Immediately. Simply tap that, enter your password, and it will give you a list of options. Here, you can click Require Passcode where it says Immediately, tap that, and you can have a list of different options. After upgrading, have you opened a ton of apps and not been able to close them? To exit out of apps, simply double tap your home button whenever the phone is unlocked to bring up the multitasking menu. To close them, you would just simply drag forward. That's it for now, but if you have any more questions about iOS 7, just shoot an email over to Winthrop Close Up at winthrop.edu. I'm Mike Zumak for Winthrop Close Up.